Hey everybody, this is Patty. Today I want to tell y'all about my favorite perennials that I have in my garden. Now, a perennial is a plant that you put in the ground and it comes back every year. From season to season, from spring to spring, you know, it comes back in the spring, it'll bloom during the summer on into the fall, and then it'll die back in the winter. But then come around the next spring and it comes up out of the ground and it's ready to do its thing all over again. Now, the first one that I want to talk about in my garden is lamb's ear. This one is the variety Helen von Stein lamb's ear, and it has a fuzzy texture. So that means that the deer do not like it. The deer won't eat it, knock on wood. It kind of serves the purpose as like maybe a hosta would, except the deer will eat the hosta down to a nub, and they leave the lamb's ear alone, which I'm very excited about. And another difference between hosta and lamb's ear is that the lamb's ear can take full sun. This garden bed right here faces west, so it gets a lot of afternoon hot sun, and really it does better here for me than it does in the shade. I do have it planted in some shady areas, and it does all right, but it really performs a lot better here where it gets more sun. Also, this lamb's ear, you can divide it. In fact, I'm fixing to divide some of this. When it gets big and grown and bushy like this, you can take a little chunk out of it and plant it somewhere else in your yard. So it just keeps going and going. You can even share it with friends. So this is number one on my list of my favorite perennials in my garden. I hope y'all like it too. Another perennial that I have in my garden that I really appreciate is a canna lily. Isn't it beautiful? That beautiful bloom. They come in different colors. They'll have different color blooms, some red. This yellow is very pretty. But this plant is kind of indestructible. You put it in the ground, it grows from like a tuber, and you plant it in the ground, and you forget about it. You can put it in some of the most harsh areas in your yard. Like this area right here is an area that we just cleared out, like maybe last summer. It was overgrown with wisteria and privet hedges, and anyway, I said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do right here, but I put some, I dug some canna lilies up from a friend of mine and put them in the ground here, and look at there. It's just as pretty as it pleases. And you can divide these, share them, spread them around. Some people don't like them, but I mean, what's not to like about that? You don't have to put them right in your front flower bed, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's gorgeous. And the leaf texture is just so strapping. It looks tropical. It's a welcome addition in my garden. I hope y'all like it too. Well, I was just walking through my yard to go to a different perennial to show y'all, and I happened to glance over and see this lily. Isn't that so pretty? And I wish y'all could smell it. It's gorgeous. But yeah, bulbs are perennial too. I put this lily bulb in the ground, not last year, but the year before. And yeah, they're coming back. They're coming back and blooming. There's one. There are a couple over there. But this is the first one to bloom over here on this side. One thing about them, though, is that deer like them. They'll eat them up. But I'm glad I got to see this one before the deer saw it. Just beautiful. Probably one of the hardiest perennials and easiest perennials that I have is echinacea, also known as cone flower. And they come in all different colors. And they're easy to start from seed. In fact, I think I already told y'all this, but I grew all the coneflower that I have in my garden. I grew using the winter sowing method. Now, the first year I put them in the ground, they were just little bitty seedlings. And they didn't bloom that year, but they did the next year, and they're blooming now, and they're beautiful. And here's a white one that I have. Let me go over here to another one. Look at those. I don't know if you can tell it on the camera, but it looks like they emerge as kind of more of an orange color, an orange-red color, and then kind of fade into this particular one anyway, and it kind of fades into a pink. Great for the pollinators. Look at that bee. And then, when their petals fall off, their seed heads are just as pretty. Let me show you another one that I have over here. Here's another one here, and look at all the bee activity. These are growing a little bit taller, and their petals are more kind of downturned, but just as pretty. I enjoy growing them. Now this is lantana, and it's very hardy here in my area. I'm in Mississippi, zone 8A. Now for some people in the country, it may not come back for them, but I've had pretty good luck with it year after year. I think this is the third year that this one has been in the ground. And look at how vibrant. And they take full sun, hot weather, humid weather. So it's great for us here in Mississippi. So pretty. Let me show you this one. Past the daisies. But look at that one right there. That is a lantana. There's my lamp post. You see how huge that is? And it comes back every year. That has probably been in the ground 12 years. I don't know. But I wouldn't doubt it, if not more. It's as big as my gardenia almost. Bees and butterflies are all over it. So pretty. I think I'll end this perennial favorites video with this salvia. It is really a pollinator favorite. It is just a buzzing with bees right now. And it's so easy also. And I probably have this in the wrong spot. of course, I winter sowed it. And so when I put the seedlings out, they were tiny. And I just put them willy-nilly in here. And so it's kind of taller in the front. You know, I probably should have saved that space for things that grow a little shorter, but I don't care. It's still pretty, and when you're standing away from the bed, it certainly catches your eye. Deer don't like it. I think it's must have some kind of scent that the deer don't appreciate. This is the white variety. And I have some blue over here. It's not very vibrant. I probably need to kind of cut some back, and it'll flush out with some new growth. Now they make an annual salvia also that probably has that's a little more showy in the bloom area, but I like this one just fine. Oh my gosh, and let me show you this. This, look at that dahlia. It's a big plant. Maybe I'll have some more blooms on it. And looking back across the bed, it's just a hub of activity for all these pollinators. I can't make a video about my favorite perennials in my garden without talking about hosta. This hosta, I know I mentioned it a while ago that deer like it a whole lot and eat it down to a nub, and they do. But the hosta that grows right here in this bed, I guess it's kind of maybe protected away from the deer. Knock on wood. I don't know if maybe they haven't found it, but this garden bed is a reliable hosta bed every year. It's in the shade. Hosta likes to grow in the shade. If it gets too much sun, their leaves will scorch. So I think this bed gets just the right amount of sun that it needs. It's growing with some fern in the garden bed with it. But hostas, all of this hosta I have split and transplanted and moved around in my garden and put it in pots, and it's just really enjoyable. I love it. And I know it's about to be spring because I can see the little hosta unfurling from the ground. And it always makes me so excited when I see the hosta coming up in this bed, because I know things are fixing to get busy and things are fixing to start blooming and the weather's going to be getting warm. Especially this spring. I was so ready for spring this year. For some reason, the winter just seemed to be awfully dark and cold and long to me this year. So I was especially grateful to see this hosta coming up this spring. Okay, that'll do it for this installment of my favorite perennials in my garden. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all found something pretty that maybe y'all would want to put in your garden beds. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.